One of the things that I know is so confusing, especially for those of us over 40, is exactly how much protein we should be eating during perimenopause and menopause, and are we only supposed to do strength training? What's the deal? So today I'm going to break it all down for you. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tracy. I'm a certified personal trainer, Pilates instructor, and health coach, and I'm also 49 years old. So if you're over 40 and you have been very confused about all the changes that occur during perimenopause and menopause, I want you to know that you are in the right place. So let's dive into the protein question. You know, I get asked this all the time. How much protein should we be eating? And if you are over 40, if you are in perimenopause or you're in menopause or even postmenopausal, you absolutely should be eating more protein. But it's so easy to get confused, especially in this era of social media where there's so many polarizing things saying, you know, you should eat this much or you should eat this much and definitely don't do that and only do this. And you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? So if you've been a little bit confused, I understand. And today I'm going to give you the reasons why you should be eating more protein. So if you are perimenopausal or menopausal, there are three main reasons why you should be eating more protein. The first reason is muscle mass prevention. I know it's really sad, but as we get older, guess what? Your muscle mass is going to decrease unless you do some of these very specific things. So naturally, as we age, our muscle mass decreases, and that is what can make us kind of feel a little bit flabby, feel like what's going on, why aren't my workouts working, and wondering why you're seeing sort of sagginess and flabbiness where there previously was not any before. And as we age, our metabolism just generally starts to slow down just a little bit year by year. It's not as much as you think. It's actually about what you're eating, but we'll get to that in a minute. And we are also more susceptible to fall. So all of this to say, we want to keep all the muscle mass that we can after 40, after 50, after 60, after 70, after 80, and beyond. This is really, really important, and that's where protein really plays a key role. The second reason why we want to include a little bit more protein at this stage of our life is for our bone density. It's really important that we preserve our bone density. Osteoporosis can actually naturally just start to occur for us as we age, so we want to make sure that we have healthy bones, strong bones, and so that if we should take a fall or something, that we don't break a bone. So it's really important. An optimal protein intake is really essential for proper bone health. And the third reason why it's so important that we include more protein in our diet, especially as we age, is for our metabolism. Now, here's the deal. Our metabolism does slow a little bit each year as we age, but it is not as much as you think.
One thing I want to talk about is how much does your metabolism slow down? We're often told as women, oh, it's just my metabolism. And especially after 40, we're often told like, oh, our metabolism just slows down and that's what we should expect. However, research really shows that it doesn't slow down as much as we think. It's really only about 2 to 5% per decade after 40. So yes, of course, it does slow down just a little bit, but when we have proper muscle definition and we're increasing and at least keeping our muscle tone during these years over the age of 40, and making sure that our lifestyle, i.e. eating healthy foods, managing our stress, making sure that we're sleeping well, these lifestyle modifications actually matter so much more than the actual metabolism slowing down.
And as I said, protein is really important for that muscle density, for proper bone health, and it will help you the more protein you eat. It also helps you to feel more satisfied. So you're actually going to end up eating a little bit less and hopefully eating more nutrient-dense foods, which is going to support you and your metabolism as we age. So exactly how much protein should you be eating at this stage in your life? It's a really simple formula. I would say about 1 gram of protein for each pound of your body weight. So let's say you weigh 130 pounds, then you're gonna wanna go for about 130 grams of protein. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, well, Tracy, I'm plant plant-based or I don't like eating meat. I'm not saying that you have to only eat meat. Now, some of the more protein-dense items, yes, might be animal products, but you can absolutely get higher protein vegetarian and vegan sources of protein as well. So for example, chicken, if you're eating about 6 ounces of chicken, that's a good 50 grams of protein, right? Some nice lean organic. A salmon fillet, about 6 ounces, would be about 40 ounces of protein. And each egg that you eat is about 6 grams of protein. Now, I'm not a huge tracker of macros or anything like that, but I want you to use this as just an idea, making sure that you're including some protein at each meal. Now, for my vegan and vegetarian friends, we've got some great choices as well. Tempeh, which is actually one of my favorite vegan sources of protein. 6 ounces of tempeh is about 32 grams of protein. So that's a really protein-rich source of protein, and it's really delicious in so many different ways. And let's not forget our seeds. So hemp seeds are very, very rich. Just 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds is gonna add an additional 10 grams of protein. So I want you to really think about it. Even our vegetables have some grams of protein. Usually a serving of vegetables is anywhere between 2 and 4 grams of protein. So I share this with you not to have you become a mathematician. Lord knows I'm not into that. However, it's really important that you start having a general sense of how much protein you're eating in a day, and especially if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, this is a great time for you to increase your protein intake daily. Now, on the subject of tracking macros, as many of you might know by now, I am not a macro tracker. I don't like counting calories, and I know, especially at this stage of life, some of you might be wanting to lose weight. So this is your invitation into my free masterclass. It's really all about how to lose weight without dieting, without calorie counting, without tracking macros, or basically without driving yourself crazy. So if you want to check that out, I will leave the link up here and also down below in the description box, and I will see you there. Now, exercise. This is where I get into a lot of hot water, especially on social media. Cue the trainer police. You know, I often talk about how I like lifting light weights and doing lots of reps. And you know, a lot of the trainer police, as I like to call them, they definitely start coming after me saying, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Let me break it down for you. So let's talk about the importance of strength training, especially after the age of 40. Now, if you're over the age of 40, you grew up in the 80s like me, and we were taught, you know, it was the age of aerobics and cardio and all those cardio queens. But as we age, we realize that, again, for our muscle density and preservation, it's really important that we incorporate some strength training into our workouts. Now, there's reasons why, and here's my top 3 reasons why you want to include some kind of strength training, but make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to tell you something that's going to definitely surprise and shock you. The first reason why you want to include some sort of strength training is, once again, muscle preservation. As I was saying earlier, we start losing muscle mass as we get older. It's just a fact of life. So it's important that we do things and specific types of exercise to preserve our muscles, all right? So of course you want to be doing some strength training. Now, I don't lift heavy weights. I never have lifted heavy weights. It's not something I can do. I am only Okay, I'm gonna say I'm 5'2", but reality is I went to the doctor the other day and he told me, you're 5'1½". Rude. So rude, right? But the truth is we do start losing muscle mass, and we can even start to shrink a little bit as we get older. So strength training is incredibly, incredibly important. Once again, the second reason why we want to include some strength training is for our bone health. As I was saying earlier, you know, any kind of protein, any kind of muscles that we have, it's going to help us to preserve our bone health. And this is especially important as we get older, so that we're protecting ourselves against falls, so that we don't fracture or break any bones, which unfortunately can happen. And research actually shows if you do have a fall or a fracture, especially if you're into your 80s, it can start cutting years off of your life, and I know none of us want that. And the third reason why we want to include strength training into our workout program is, once again, for our friend, our metabolism. As you know by now, it starts to slow down. So the more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate, and that is super, super important. So let's get into the specifics. So what exactly do I do, and why do I get into such hot water from the trainer police? I personally, again, as a shorter woman, I prefer doing light weights with a lot of repetitions. And that's exactly what I share inside my fitness membership, Total Body Transformation. We use 2-pound weights, we use 3-pound weights, and it really works. My women in their 60s, their 70s, even their 80s, they see results from that program using light weights, because lightweight and using resistance bands, that is still strength training. That is still resistance. Now, you have to remember one thing that is crucially important that almost everyone forgets about, and that is your actual body weight. I don't weigh 2 or 3 pounds, right? So whenever you're doing exercise that incorporates your own body weight and your body's resistance, you, my friend, are strength training. Now, everyone is gonna have different goals. So before you come at me in the comments, you're gonna have different goals. For me, and for the ladies inside my membership, our goal is to create a leaner, more kind of natural, almost like you were just genetically blessed with a slim and strong figure, right? I don't wanna look like, some big muscle girl. And I have to tell you, even at this age, with my body type and the shortness of my body, I can bulk up quickly. And I get crazy when people tell me women can't bulk. That's not true. I remember when I was training to be a professional dancer and I came home for my first holiday break and I couldn't pull on a pair of pants that I left at home because my legs had gotten so big from dancing all day long. I wasn't lifting weights, I was only dancing. So I share this with you to let you know that every body is different, and this is what works for my body. You might have different goals. Maybe you want more mass, or maybe you want a more cut or developed look, and that's great for you. That's just not the look that I personally like, and that's also not what I teach my clients. If you want that leaner, kind of more long, again, more of a natural look that you're just naturally slim, naturally strong, that's the look that I like creating and that I'm really an expert in creating for the women in my membership. So if you're wanting to learn more about specific exercises and what you should really be doing in a system, this is your exclusive invitation into my new masterclass, Fit and Fab After 40. I'll leave the link up here and also down below in the description box. Save your space today because I give you the exact step-by-step system to not only help you get stronger, help you get leaner, but also to help you reverse your cellular age, and that's what we all want, right? So I hope that this helped to clear up some of the confusion for you. Yes, you do need to be eating more protein. No, you do not only have to have animal protein sources. Yes, you need to be doing strength training. No, you do not. Maybe, depending on your goals, you do not have to lift heavy weights. So definitely let me know what your #1 takeaway was from this video today. Leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't already, do subscribe. It's totally free to subscribe. Our community is now over 200,000 strong. And I know if you're a woman who really wants to look her best, feel her strongest, be healthy, look stylish, feel beautiful at any age and any stage of life, you are in the right place. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.